Hello and welcome to Precon Decon, the video series where I deconstruct the pre-constructed decks of Magic the Gathering's history. In this video, I'm going to start looking at another duel deck, which is Divine versus Demonic. So this is the third of the duel decks, and this is sort of a break from the sort of very early tradition that had been established. So we'd had Elf versus Goblins, we'd had Jace versus Chandra, so now this is the first one where we're getting kind of more of a loose theme. It's not just certain creature types against each other or like planeswalker characters. This is more of a loose theme here. Of it's not it's not angels versus demons. It is meant to be like lots of nice mono white stuff versus lots of evil mono black stuff. So yeah, that's basically the theme of it. And it's a very, I think, classic theme. I think it's obviously very resonant. You see it and you'd be like, oh, that looks pretty cool. And obviously it had some really nice reprints in there. So we're gonna get into it and look at it. So, released right in the middle of Alara block, just after Conflux, just before Alara Reborn. So, just to give you an idea of what cards are available for it. Let's just dive in, start looking into it. Obviously, these decks being monocolored, I'm just realizing now, being released in the middle of a block that was focused around multicolor means that we're actually not going to see that many cards from Alara in these decks, I think, mostly because obviously a lot of the angels and demons and that were usually spread amongst either Bant or Esper or Grixis colors. So yeah, not a lot of monocolored offerings, I suppose. But we'll see what we got. So we'll look at the first deck, which is Divine, which is mono white. So we've got 20 creatures, 7 enchantments, 4 instants, 3 artifacts, and 26 lands. Mana curve off to the side there. Really, really high mana curve. Both these decks are very much, what's the term? Battle cruiser magic, where it is really, really expensive stuff. Both decks have really expensive creatures. Obviously, one side's got really expensive angels, the other's got really expensive demons. So it's definitely like a very casual battle cruiser game. If you play these against each other, we just build up into progressively bigger and bigger angels and demons. Let's dive in and start looking at it. So the foil face card is Miss Keyword Salad herself, Achroma, Angel of Wrath. So 5 and triple white for a 6/6 with flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste, pro black, and pro red. So pro black basically means that the demon deck has just no answer to Achroma at all, which I suppose is kind of thematically fitting. Off the top of my head, no, I think all the removal in there is black. I mean, we'll get into it when we look into it. I know for a fact I think they do have a single board wipe, so that might be a way of dealing with Achroma, but that's like one card. Achroma is obviously, as I said, the keyword salad caused a lot of stir when she first came out, and is prime reanimation target. Neither of these decks do anything in terms of reanimation or milling or anything. So you are hard casting Achroma, but yeah, when she comes down, that's pretty much going to be, I think, game end, because I say it's so hard for the other deck to have an answer to this. But yeah, she's obviously great. And with lovely new artwork here as well. So the other legendary angel in the deck is Raya Dawnbringer. So I think it's Raya's from Invasion or Planeshift, like quite an older set. So she's 6 and triple white. And a 4/6, and I just said neither deck does anything with reanimation. Raya sort of does, but it's kind of like fair reanimation where you have to pay a lot to get Raya down first as well. So 4/6 flight, at the beginning of upkeep, return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield, which is obviously a super strong effect, getting a free reanimation every turn. She comes down and stays down, then yeah, it's obviously again really, really hard for the other deck to deal with. But again, you got to get to 9 mana to get her down. I think this is new art for her as well, which is nice. Obviously, all these dual decks, some of them, there's certain new pieces, art piece in here, which is just nice. I think. Oh no, she was in 10th edition actually. Ignore me. She was in 10th edition, I think. We've got a Luminous Angel as well, so 4 and triple white for a 4/4 flying. At being of upkeep, you make a 1/1 white spirit creature taken with flying. So nice, just create a bunch of extra bodies. Again, 7 mana to drop her is obviously a lot, but again, I think makes a lot of value early on by just keep pumping out spirits again, which actually both decks have a lot of flyers in them, in terms of just angels or demons or spirits or imps or whatever. So evasive creatures obviously still valuable, but both decks actually have a way of dealing with flyers, which is nice after seeing the last few dual decks, which have mostly been ground based, I suppose. We've got a single Twilight Shepherd, so 3 and triple white for a 5/5 with flying and vigilance. When it enters the battlefield, return to your hand all cards in your graveyard that were put there from play this turn, which is really nice. Always like them when white gets this kind of effect, this like second sunrise ability, where you get to save stuff as long as it died that turn. I always think it's like a really fun ability. And it has Persist, because it's from Shadowmoor Eventide. So Persist is basically the first time it dies, if it's got no -1/-1 counters on it, it comes back with a -1/-1 counter on it. I don't think there's any ways of getting the counter off it, so there's no sort of playing around with this ability. But it's obviously still like a really strong ability, and the it having persist and this comes into playability means you can like really like play around with it, obviously, because you could swing with it, a bunch of your stuff dies, this maybe dies in the same turn, comes back with persist, and then all the stuff that died at the same time as it also comes back. So yeah, that's really good, I think. Single Sarah Angel, classic Sarah Angel, back when she was still considered a rare. This is before she got downshifted to uncommon in M10, I want to say. So 3 and double white for a 4/4 flying vigilance. Yep, just really straightforward. Everyone knows and loves Sarah Angel. Then we've got 2 Sarah Advocate, 3 and a white for a 2/2 with flying. In taps to give target attacking or blocking creature +2/+2 turn, which is a pretty decent buff. I love this artwork for Sarah Advocate. I think this is generally one of my favorite arts in like the entirety of Magic the Gathering. I don't know what it is about it. It's got like such fantastic like early thousands like D&D third or fourth edition energy to it. I don't know why. I really like this artwork. I think it's great. We've got 2 Angel of Mercy, 4 and a white for 3/3 flying. When it comes into play, you gain 3 life. Yep, this is perfectly fine. A single Angelic Protector, 3 and a white for a 2/2 with flying. Whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability, it gets +0/+3 in Slender turn. This doesn't do much, I think, against a lot of the removal spells in the black deck, because it's usually just, I think, instant kill spells. So would get past the toughness boost anyway. But it's really nice that she's back here in like a new frame as well. This is a card I really like. I used to combine it with the core back from Tempest, where they get to shuffle damage around, but if you keep target the Angelic Protector to be the one who is going to get the damage redirected to her, she can never die to it because she gets the +0/+3 every time. So yeah, really fun card. I really like Angelic Protector, and yeah, really fun inclusion in here, I think. They're really from all over Magic's history, all the different angels in this deck. 2 Sustainer of the Realm, 2 and double white for a 2/3 flying. Whenever it blocks, it gets +0/+2 turn. Yep, that's perfectly fine. It's a nice blocker. 2 Angelic Page, who's basically a smaller Sarah Advocate it's basically half of Sarah Advocate in every way. So it's like half the cost, half the power toughness, and gives half the boost. It's still fine though, and it's nice. I think this was the Eratar to make it an Angel Spirit now. Not that they've got any like Angel like tribal synergies in the deck, like all angels get +X or whatever. But like it's still nice they've got like the creature type update. Got 2 charging paladins, 2 and white for a 2/2. When it attacks, it gets +0/+3 turn, which always seemed weird to me. Like that as it's charging, it gets a toughness boost rather than a power boost. That always seemed weird to me. But then I suppose you could say it's more of a red card then if that happened. Yeah, this is fine. So obviously now we're off the angels. Now we're into kind of like the mortal followers, I suppose you could say. This is okay, I suppose. It's an alright 3-drop. And yeah, obviously becomes pretty tanky when it attacks. 2 Acacian Priest as a 1-drop, just 1 white mana for a 1/1. You can spend 3 to give a creature +1/+1 turn. It's okay as an ability on a 1/1. Yeah, it's okay, I suppose. 2 Venerable Monk, who we haven't seen for a really long time. I'd sort of missed him, actually. So 2 and white for a 2/2. When he comes into play, you gain 2 life. So obviously kind of overcosted. I'd say even at the time, like 3 mana for a 2/2 that only gives you 2 life. But he's kind of a classic card, and I just have really fond memories of him being in a bunch of like starter sets, like when I started playing, like properly getting into the game. Like he was in Portal sets and like 7th edition, all those kind of things. So yeah, really fond memories of Venerable Monk. And then non-creature spells. So we've got a single Angel Song. So this is actually one from Alara. So 1 white, and it's basically Fog, prevent all combat damage that be dealt this turn, and it's got this nice cycling option. So if you never need it, you can always discard it and draw a card, which is okay. Single Healing Salve. So 1 white mana to either prevent 3 damage or gain 3 life, which is it's fine. It's kind of weak, obviously, but it's okay. And then we've got 2 Faith's Fetters. 3 and a white goes on any kind of permanent. When it comes to play, you gain 4 life, and you basically lock down the permanent. So it's like an arrest effect. If it's a creature, it can't attack or block. So most of the time, this is going on a creature, obviously, to completely lock it down. I think there's maybe like, I want to say there's maybe at least one artifact in the Demons deck that you might want to stick this on to lock it down, but I might be misremembering that. Most of the time it's going on a creature, it's just then arrest with a bit of life gain attached to it. But it is always nice to have the flexibility that can go on anything. Single pacifism with the lovely onslaught block art with a chroma here. This is probably my favorite art for pacifism. Although like I'm a big stan for Grak. At the end of the day, this is probably my favorite pacifism art. Yeah, just can't. Aura can't attack or block. Yeah, we all know what pacifism does. We've got 2 otherworldly journeys from Kamigawa. So 1 and white, you exile the creature, and then end of turn it comes back in with a +1/+1 counter. So actually, this is a way you can play around with the Twilight Shepherd as well to give it the +1/+1 counter. So take the -1/-1 counter off it. You get to use its effect again. It flickers back in, it will get to do its ETB again. Obviously, you can use it as a removal spell as well, get like a big demon out of the way that's maybe there to block angels or whatever, so you can swing through. Yeah, just a really nice like versatile card that it can be used either to improve your stuff, get ETB effects again, save them for removal, get enemy creatures out of the way. Yeah, I think it's just really like solid card. It's just really nice. Single Righteous Cause, 3 and double white enchantment. Whenever a creature attacks, you gain 1 life. It is expensive, but like this is an effect that also like I find like mounts up really really quickly because it obviously turns like enemy 1/1s into like they just can't do anything. They just can't attack anymore because the life gain completely negates whatever damage they would do. Yeah, because it is all creatures, not just your creatures, not just enemy creature, it is all creatures. So really fantastic, like multiplayer card as well. Yeah, so Righteous Cause is a really nice reprint here. We got Sarah's Boon. I think this is from I want to say Planar Chaos or Time Spiral. It's a riff on. There's a black card which is almost like exactly the same. I think it's like Phyrexia's Boon maybe, and it's almost exactly the same effect, but it's just been color shifted. So 2 and a white aura goes on a creature. The enchanted creature gets +1/+2 if it's white. Otherwise, it gets -2/-1. So on a white creature, it's Holy Strength. Otherwise, it's Weakness. I think is the black card or Enfeeblement. One of those. This is okay. This is also one of the. This is like basically your only actual like solid like removal like as apart from pacifism and faith fetters. This is the only thing that is like technically like a kill spell because it can obviously reduce toughness, but I think most of the time you want to use it as Holy Strength. But even then it's too overcosted for Holy Strength. Like 3 mana, it's like I really don't think this is that great, honestly. Even though it has very very nice artwork. I mean that's the thing in this deck. Like we haven't actually got a lot of removal that white normally gets these days, like dealing damage to attacking creatures or blockers, like divine verdict kind of abilities. We haven't got anything like that. I suppose like the pacifisms and faith's fetters, like the black deck can't do anything about those, can't remove those anyway. But yeah, just there's no kill spells in here really. Anyway, should have saved that for the end, really. We've got a single Sarah's Embrace, 2 and double white. Aura goes on a creature, gives it +2/+2 flying and vigilance. A lot of things in the deck really want that. Even something that's already got flying and vigilance, like a Sarah's Angel, can always appreciate a +2/+2. That's not the best use for it, but everything appreciates being targeted by this. And then a single Angelic Benediction, so this is from Alara as well, so 3 and a white. It's an enchantment with Exalted, so if a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 for every Exalted permanent you have. This is the only one, and I don't think it's a deck where you want to be attacking alone anyway, and like the deck's not built around Exalted anyway. My beloved Exalted, one of my favorite keywords. This I think is just in here because it's obviously thematically really nice, but whenever a creature you control attacks alone, you can tap target creature. It's okay, but like as much as I love Exalted, it does feel maybe like it's not doing its best work here, I think. Single Angel's Feather. I think both the decks have their respective lucky charm. Whenever a player casts a spell of a certain color, you gain 1 life. So yeah, we've got the Angel's Feather here, and then we've got 2 Marble Diamond. So 2 mana comes into play, taps and taps to give you white. So obviously this is help with like the really hungry mana curve you've got. And then we've got 2 Secluded Steps as a cycling land. So we've got like also no card draw in here as well, apart from a few cycling cards. So yeah, because again, it's like it's what like late thousands white, so like no card draw, hardly any kill spells. So all we're relying on is really kind of like life gain and angels really. And then 24 planes. So I'd love to know what you think about this deck. I've sort of obviously gone over what I think my issues are with the deck. Like, there's no solid kill spells, and obviously it's a really greedy mana curve. But the demon deck also has like a really high mana curve, so I don't think that would be an issue if you were playing them against each other. I quite like a lot of the things that are in here. I'm a kind of a sucker for angels anyway. It's a kind of a deck I would have built back in the day anyway. Like, kind of stuck to this loose theme of like, I'm just gonna get all my angels and just stick them in a deck, and it'll be kind of bad, but like I'll have a lot of fun with it. And I think that's ultimately why I quite like this one, and the demonic deck as well, because they remind me of decks that me and my group would have built like back in the day, like just sticking to like this kind of loose theme. But yeah, I think what's in some of the cards in here I think are really nice, but nothing massively jumps out at me. Like, it doesn't have a very strong, I think, like mechanical identity. It's just angels, and nothing really to go along there. I suppose big flyers. I suppose it's white skies. I suppose we'll call it that. But as I say, I'd like to know what you think about this one. Stick a comment below if you have any thoughts or comments or stories, opinions about this deck. But I hope you join me next time, because I'm going to look at the demonic side of the dual deck. So until then, thanks for watching and listening, and have a great day.